Hey, what's going on? In this video, I talked to Dom Wells from Onfolio. You may remember Dom from Human Proof Designs. He was the original owner, the founder, and he and I kind of got started blogging and getting into affiliate marketing around the same time back in 2013, roughly. We've stayed in touch over the years. He's sold Human Proof Designs and he's working on Onfolio. In this interview, we talk about the changes and the impacts that the the website investing world is seeing due to a potential recession and the coronavirus COVID-19. Dom published a few blog posts as we were leading up to the pandemic, and I thought they were really interesting and invited him on the show to talk about it. So, number one, you could follow more stuff that Dom is doing over at Onfolio. There's links in the description, and if you are brand new to the channel, welcome. Thanks for checking it out. I'm Doug Cunnington. I normally talk about affiliate marketing, SEO, and project management. And if you dig this kind of stuff, have a look at some of the other videos, some of the other interviews, especially the success story interviews. And if you like them, subscribe. In fact, if you like this video, just hit the thumbs up. And if you have any questions for Dom or observations, leave a comment below and I will bug Dom to come and answer those questions. So without further ado, let's check out the interview with Dom Wells from Onfolio. Hey, what's going on? It's Doug Cunnington here from Niche Site Project and the Doug Show. And I'm with my friend Dom Wells. How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing well, pretty well considering everything that's going on in the world. Can't really complain too much.
Very good. And for the people that don't know you at all, you run Onfolio and you were the founder, the original person at Human Proof Designs. But can you give just a little bit of an intro to let people know what you're into right now?
Yeah, so I handed over Human Proof Designs to Brian about a year ago. This is April 2020 right now, and since then I've been kind of pedal to the metal with Onfolio, and essentially Onfolio we just I guess you could describe us as an entry point for people who want to get involved in investing in websites, buying established websites. Someone summed it up really well the other day, so maybe they can be my new marketing person, but they said, we turn an active investment into a passive investment. So the idea is if you want to get involved with buying a website of somewhere like Empire Flippers, but you have no idea how to run it once you've bought it, or you don't even know how to get to that stage, you don't know how to evaluate which sites are better. That's kind of where we come in and what we can help with. So yeah, like that's pretty much been what I've been living and breathing for the last 12 to 18 months.
Very cool. I know that's a big need out there. I'm sure that's exactly why you started the company, but I definitely get emails probably once a week where someone, a successful person, has capital, they want to deploy it elsewhere, they want to diversify, and you can help them out because they know there's online businesses, but they don't know what to do with them. They barely know just that they're out there, but they know that it's a great way to diversify and really get quite a bit of leverage compared to some other investment vehicles. So great company. Can you give us an idea like how much business you did last year, or how much you've grown, just in a general sense?
Yeah, it's quite interesting because I hired a new head of operations about a year ago. And so we were doing this like recap of where Onfolio was when she joined and where we are now. So it's kind of some of the numbers are fresh in my head. The revenue model is a bit harder to talk about because there's how much revenue the sites we manage get and then how much we get and stuff. But in terms of where we are now, we have 16 people on our payroll. So some of them are full time, some are just like part-time freelancers. We have 40 sites under management, and well, yeah, those are the two biggest things. And about a year ago, we probably had 4 or 5 people on payroll and about 5 or 6 sites under management. So it's been a pretty hockey stick year in terms of just scaling up the company.
Amazing. That's absolutely amazing. And I think that could be a whole other conversation. Maybe we'll put a pin in it and come back to it. That growth is tremendous. And it's awesome that you hired I guess a new COO to, get things ramped up so you can do your CEO business. So congratulations on that.
Yeah, thanks. I mean, it was the first hire I made, or the first sort of proper hire I made, because I don't know if on this podcast or previous ones, but I've always been like a big fan of Brad at Human Proof Designs, and hiring him as COO there was probably the best decision I made at HPD. So he stayed with HPD when I left. So I was like, I need to go out and find another person to fill that role. So it was like one of the first things I did, and yeah, again, it was like the best decision I made with Onfolio as well. So I'll do that all day long.
There are several topics we're going to hit today, and many things happened since the last time we talked. So there's basically a recession happening right now, and who knows how long it's going to last, how deep it's going to go. We're dealing with like lockdown, shelter in place situations across the world, really. Businesses are not able to operate in a lot of ways. We're online, so we could do a lot of stuff, but it's hitting us in different ways. And then we have the recent Amazon affiliate commission rate changes as well. So there's all these changes happening, pretty dramatic changes as well. So let's start with just the high level and on a personal level too, because we haven't caught up in a while. How are you feeling right now, just as an entrepreneur running a business with 15 people? You have a lot of clients and customers that you're working with. So how are you dealing with this pretty stressful situation?
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay. I think if this had happened, say, 6 months ago or 10 months ago, I would have been feeling worse. Probably the first half of the year of growing Onfolio, I wasn't taking a salary, and I was paying some of my team out of my personal money, my personal savings. So from about December onwards, that wasn't really the case. We were cash flow positive. And so right now I'm in a situation where I'm like, oh, okay, well, glad I got us there, because now we have clients. The clients are not going anywhere. I know that whatever happens right now, everyone's going to be able to get paid. So on a sort of stress level, I'm okay. You know, something may change tomorrow, but right now, I'm at a table, so I just knock on the wood a bit there. But right now, everything is okay. I guess being in Taiwan, where I am now in Taipei, we've been the poster boy of containing the coronavirus. We're so far, again, touch wood, we're so far not experiencing a lockdown. So that's pretty reassuring. I've got a 5-month-old baby, so it could be pretty different if like I was in New York, for example, or China. So yeah, I definitely feel quite lucky on quite a few fronts. And then I guess when I look at the more global scale, it's kind of strange. It's kind of in a holding pattern, because in some senses I feel like, oh, this is a great opportunity. I may never have an opportunity like this in my life. But I haven't yet seen any of the opportunities come up. So, and I'm sure we'll discuss this more on the rest of the call. But so it's kind of like just a little bit of a limbo feeling. Definitely the air's gone out of some of the tires in terms of how gung-ho everyone was, particularly towards the end of last year. And it's just a little bit like, okay, well, let's just wait and see. Yeah, I think that would probably sum it up pretty well.
Very good. And one of the articles you wrote is called How a Recession Might Affect the Website Investing Space. And you wrote that, if I'm doing my math right, about 6 weeks ago, March 9th. And you had several different points where, things could change. So for years, it was really a seller's market in many ways for affiliate sites, and whether they were big or small, or display ad type sites with informational content. So, you listed about 6 of them. What's sticking out in your mind still 6 weeks later where, yeah, there's definitely website incomes are declining, or maybe website multiples are declining? What do you see on the streets right now?
I don't think it's a buyer's market yet. Some people are already saying it's a buyer's market. Richard Patey has a paid newsletter, and he, in his last email, I think yesterday or anyway, a couple of days ago, he said it's already a buyer's market. And I mean, I don't agree with that based on what I'm seeing. But at the same time, it's probably less of a seller's market as well. So it's like, it hasn't fully gone to a buyer's market, but sellers have lost some of their ability to just sell a site like that. And that's mostly because of the Amazon situation. If the Amazon affiliate commissions hadn't done what they just did, I think it would still very much be a seller's market. And that's because the consensus is overwhelmingly that it's going to become a buyer's market and the seller's market is going to end. And what that is creating is a kind of froth among potential buyers. And everyone's like, okay, it's going to become a buyer's market. I'm going to buy. And so that creates so much buying demand that it stays as a seller's market. So it's kind of ironic that, where there's consensus, there's less opportunity. So because everyone assumes it's a great time to buy, that actually means it's not a buyer's market. But then right now, if you're trying to sell an Amazon affiliate site, probably the power is with a buyer. So within the market, it is still, there are these kind of pockets emerging where it's probably not a seller's market. But in like the kind of wider macro view, yeah, I think it still is a seller's market. And what I said, I don't know if I put it in that post or not, but what I've said a lot since that post is I don't know if it will ever fully become a buyer's market, but I think there will become more opportunities where if you have money, there might be one single seller who needs to sell in a pinch, or they've lost their job, they want to sell. So if you're a buyer, you can get a good deal, but like overall, it's still like going to become a selling market. And yeah, I think that is what we're seeing now as well, particularly with people who are trying to sell Amazon sites, hoping that someone hasn't noticed the affiliate changes and stuff like that. So yeah, there's that. And there's also, I guess, on a side note, there's people who want to buy Amazon sites because they just became cheaper for the same numbers of traffic. And so there are some people who either they know something that I don't, or they're just hopeful. But there's a lot of people who want to buy cheap Amazon sites now and then convert the links from Amazon to non-Amazon. And people are assuming that's going to be like a home run. And I'm sort of skeptical about that. So yeah, that's definitely something I'm seeing as well. And I think if someone can crack that strategy, then yeah, that's going to be a great opportunity.
You had some great insights there. One I want to point out is around the buyers versus sellers market. And my wife and I recently bought a home in Colorado, pretty hot market overall, but it doesn't switch overnight from buyer's market to seller's market because there's a bit of a transition and there's pockets, like you said, but things slowed down. Inventory is a little different. People aren't putting houses on the market, and it's not a perfect parallel, but the website market is not going to switch. And like you said, if there's a consensus, then everyone's just waiting, and you got to do something a little different to get the good deal. But switching gears to the Amazon stuff, I mean, I think maybe the big opportunities are like a strategic situation where someone has a drop shipping site and then they could buy an Amazon site and then actually, control a little bit more of the marketing for their site. Have you seen any of that sort of stuff going on?
Not personally, but I've like anecdotally seen it. Yeah. I think there are people out there who have been doing it for years so Matt Diggity, for example, he's got quite a lot of experience with buying a site, taking out the Amazon links and replacing with like, say, share a sale links or some private links. If you've got a niche where you've done it before and it works, and you can now buy other Amazon affiliate sites in that niche, or yeah, you own the product yourself, so you can chop it out that way. I think that is an opportunity. But I think there's going to be some niches where it just doesn't make sense to switch, and Amazon is still going to be more profitable than replacing it. Just less profitable than it was a week ago.
Sure. And I was chatting with Jesse Lakes, and he did a little more research than I did, so I'll just repeat what he said. And Amazon has a market share of like 38%. Walmart's at number 2 with 5%. So
yeah.
Pretty dramatic. And you could try to go to Walmart, but you're going to have to sell and get so much more traffic that, there's not much you can do perhaps other than just try and diversify a little bit. Now, from the sites that you're managing, you mentioned there's 40 sites under management at Onfolio. How many, what's the makeup for monetization, just in a general sense, for Amazon versus other affiliates versus display ads and so on?
I don't know the exact makeup. We've got we've got a large number of sites that are like 100% not Amazon, so they're obviously fine, not a big deal. Then we've got a large number of sites that are probably 50% Amazon. And then there's a couple where maybe they're like 75% or more Amazon. So those ones are feeling the pinch a bit. Some of them are in niches where the category actually didn't get affected or only got affected a tiny bit. So like, the PC space didn't get affected, for example. And then others, yeah, there's a couple where, the change has been quite brutal. And one or two of those sites don't really have any choice because maybe 75% of their Amazon purchases were not through direct links. You start recommending something else, unless they're paying you like 80% commission, it's not going to cover the gap. It's not going to beat what you get from all the other Amazon sales. So, like if you were in a niche where people were buying something for like $100 and then maybe they were buying a few other things for $10, if you just find direct affiliate programs for that $100 thing and they pay say 15, 20% and it converts, then yeah, absolutely change the links. That's going to more than make up for the fact that you're losing the like all the cross sales and the other stuff. But in a lot of niches, a lot of sites, we're not going to be able to do that. So it's just kind of, let's just go out and get more traffic is kind of the the solution there.
Okay. So overall, it sounds like there's an impact to some sites, but generally the portfolios are in pretty good shape.
Yeah, and I mean, interestingly enough, yesterday was the first day where I saw my Amazon dashboard, and it's like, it's the first day of the new rates, and a lot of the sites are still making more than they were making before the coronavirus, and that's probably why Amazon did the rate cut, because we're making so much more money on our Amazon sites without doing any extra work, just because everyone's buying from Amazon. And so even going down to 3%, some of our sites are still making more. But what sucks is long term, when that kind of corona traffic leaves, Amazon's not going to go, oh, okay, here's 8% again. So that's where it's going to suck. But for now, it's like, well, actually, my sites I'm still going to have a record month. So it's, yeah, it's interesting situation.
And I've been seeing higher traffic in general. There was a little dip for a few weeks, but then once people got used to being at home, it sort of jumped up.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing record traffic on multiple sites as well. So very interesting. And I guess for some actionable stuff, like if people have a site and they've been hit, what kind of advice would you give to them?
Well, what we've been doing internally is, so there's a bunch of calculators out there already. Empire Flippers has one, FE International has one, John Authority Website Income has one, Jesse probably has one at Genius Links. I don't know, but anyway, there's a bunch of calculators out there. So first thing you want to do is see how much am I going to be impacted. Or people may know already by now anyway, but the idea is you download your Amazon report and you see exactly how much you're going to be impacted. And you might conclude, oh, it's not that bad. It's not worth my time to worry about. But let's say it's a big impact. So the next thing you really want to do is figure out what percent of your Amazon sales come from people buying direct through a link or people buying all the other stuff that they buy when they get to Amazon. And again, if it's a small percent that people are buying other stuff, then you may want to say, okay, I'm going to look at chopping out, replacing these links with like other programs. If it's a large percent of your commissions are coming from all the other stuff people buy, it might not make sense to try to replace with another affiliate program, because the boost you get from that may not, the net will probably still be a loss. Now, if you do want to replace, there's a few options. So the obvious thing to do is just start Googling like affiliate programs in your niche, looking at places like Commission Junction, Share a Sale, and all of those different ones. There's a really good Facebook group right now called, I think it's like Amazon Affiliate Alternative Programs or something like that. So people in there are sharing information about different programs, how easy they are to get into, what the process is, and so on. Another thing you can do is actually download your report again and look at all of the products you've sold the most, and then see if those products have affiliate programs. So rather than joining networks, you can actually do that. And some of them will, some of them won't, but you can still message them anyway and say, hey, I'm leaving Amazon. I still want to promote you. Is there anything we can do? You'll make more and I'll make more. Like I've had some people, they rejected me. They said, yeah, sorry, our private affiliate program's closed right now. And I was like, I drove $30,000 worth of sales of your product last month. Why, I think you should open it. And they were like, no, sorry, we're closed. And I was like, okay, so I literally said, I'm going to send that $30,000 to someone else then. You are going to find some people who just don't give you the time of day, but you'll find others who are like desperate for your sales. I've had people say to me, hey, this product that I've, so kind of like e-commerce entrepreneurs, like people who have Shopify businesses, stuff like that, they'll be more than happy to, take your traffic and give you a share. So there's opportunity there. But that's more, once you've exhausted the obvious choices for where to find alternatives, then you can start trying to find more like direct partnerships. Now, the thing I'm finding is with some sites, it really is just a case of changing out the links and just saying, instead of saying buy it on Amazon, you say buy it on, insert manufacturer's name.com. But as yourself and myself and many people have said over the years, with Amazon, a lot of the time, all you need to do is get the click. So a lot of our best product pages are just optimized for that. It's like, hey, here's a product, here's 4 bullet points about it, check the price. And then you go. And then if you are now sending someone direct to a manufacturer, that's not going to convert very well. So even if they're going to give you, say, 15% instead of 3% or whatever, you might get 0 sales. So definitely test it. But if you find it's not converting, then you might want to rewrite that sentence and say, so one thing I've been testing is saying, hey, you can get this on Amazon too, here's a link, but I recommend you buy it direct from the manufacturer, because then you're on their email list for when they send promotions, and you can often get a better deal, and it's good to support them directly. And I'm seeing if that's going to get better conversions. On some pages with a lot of traffic, you may want to completely rewrite the page and split test it with something like VMO, because you need to do something to kind of bridge the gap where there's going to be a lack of conversions. Matt Diggity told me their rule was to beat Amazon, they need to be paying something like 12%, and their sales page needs to not be garbage. That was under the old Amazon commission rates, though. The good thing is now maybe only 8% needs to beat them, because Amazon don't pay as much anymore. So I guess what I'm getting at is you need to figure out, is this alternative actually going to pay me more, or am I just going to have to take this Amazon thing on the chin and just, begrudgingly use them? Yeah, so I think that's probably the 80-20, and then kind of going more into the private partnerships if you can. So for example, I have someone he has a Shopify store and he sells a product that everyone needs right now, but you can't actually get on Amazon. It's not toilet paper, but it's something that people want, but Amazon, it's just completely sold out. Amazon aren't really going to get any more anytime soon. And he was like, hey, I'm selling this for $60. I'll give you 25% if you have any sites that could convert this product. And I was like, yeah, actually I have 1 or 2 that may work. So we're going to explore that option. And that could be something that's going to work out better. And I was kind of thinking about it holistically, and that's the kind of stuff affiliate marketers should be doing anyway. Like, Amazon doesn't need our traffic, really. They don't need our conversions. And like I said, we're not actually doing anything to get the sales anyway. So the individual product sellers who would love to have someone who ranks for best whatever, and they can give us a commission to send them traffic, as long as their product's not garbage, those are the kind of partnerships we should be working on anyway. So I kind of feel like, well, yeah, actually we have the power to make or break someone's business. So we should be helping those people rather than just, you know, doing easy mode and just sending traffic to Amazon. So
Yeah.
if you want to look at it philosophically anyway.
It is a good way to look at it because, you're helping another entrepreneur out. And I was chatting with Matt Javanese from moneylab.co. Do you know Matt?
No.
I'm going to have to introduce you guys. But we've been lazy, right? It's been very easy to just get okay content, like you said, a couple bullet points, get people over to Amazon. Not so hard to do. And I've been complacent. Matt's been complacent. It's really, it was an easy way to do it. It was converting fine. People were making money. But yeah, if someone needs that traffic, if you see them running ads, for example, on whatever platform, they're spending money already. They want the eyes on their offer. So if you can bridge that gap. So that's super cool that you hooked that up. How did you, find that person? Is it just someone in your network, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, one of the benefits of not being under lockdown is you can still have lunch with people. So in Taipei, I was having lunch on Sunday with a few other entrepreneurs, and we were just sort of just talking about stuff. And he was saying, well, why don't you just promote my stuff? And I was like, okay. So it kind of just came about from there. But obviously something actionable for the podcast for people who are not in that situation like I'm in. I think actually what you just said, like if someone's running ads for their products, yeah, reach out to them. What else? I had a few other tips. Maybe Google the product pages so like start searching for e-commerce keywords. Like instead of searching like best razor blade and looking for all your affiliate competitors, just Google razor blade and look at all the shops selling it, and then maybe go to page 2 and find people who are like, oh, you've got a good product, but you don't have any traffic. Would you like some? And post in Facebook groups. There's a Facebook group called Shopify Entrepreneurs, and I joined it about 4 years ago, and it had something like 50,000 people in it. I don't know how many people it must have now, but just go in there and I don't know, make sure you're not breaching the rules. I actually know the owner. He's a pretty reasonable person. So just go in there and just say, hey, does anyone have a need for this traffic? I'm sure you'll get people biting your hand off. In fact, I think I might do that.
Yeah, that's a really good idea.
Yeah, just stuff like that, and just be a little bit creative. And like you say, like don't be complacent. We, I guess we're the victims of our own success a little bit. And imagine you're the head of Amazon's associates program, and you're looking at all these people and you're like, they're not really doing anything to drive these sales. In fact, are we even driving sales, or are we just leeching? Like, because we're just cooking people before they buy. So I can see them being like, well, let's reduce the commissions because they're not really working hard enough to make the sales. So yeah, be a little bit more creative and hustle a little bit, and you might be able to make more money in the long run.
Very good. And coming sort of towards the end, and there's another post that I wanted to mention that you wrote before a lot of the situation with COVID-19 popped out. This is future proofing by building an audience, basically. And just generally, future proofing is a great idea. It removes that complacency. But can you just give a few tips about things you're thinking about right now as far as future proofing, revenue generating, media type sites?
So where to start? So yeah, this Amazon stuff hasn't really changed my long-term plans because my long-term plans were not really involving Amazon anyway. It's accelerated them a little bit. But for those who haven't read the post, essentially I was saying the best way to future-proof an investment, so if you buy a content site, how can you make sure it's going to be around, is to buy sites that have an audience, and they come because they want to read your information. They subscribe to your blog. They do all of this stuff because they like your content. They're not just going to come and read an article, click an Amazon link, and never come back again. So, for example, if you got your site dinged by Google, so I mean, like you personally, like niche site project.com suddenly didn't show up in Google, you wouldn't get any new traffic. But you'd still have all of your old YouTube following and your email subscribers, people who are fans of yours. So your income's not going to die and straight away. And you're going to obviously need to do something to replace that lost traffic, but it lets you sleep a little bit better at night knowing that you're not as reliant on like an Amazon payout or a Google algorithm. So the kind of sites that excite me are sites where, yeah, like people are coming because they want the content and they want to become fans. They don't want to become fans, but they become fans of the blog, and they just are interested in the niche and the content you're putting out. And then in terms of how you monetize that, there's a lot more options then as well. Like you could monetize with an ebook, a membership, a course. You could still do physical products and you could still do affiliate, but you just have a little bit more power to pick and choose how you make the money. So yeah, that hasn't changed. If anything, I'm more bullish on that now than I was when I wrote the post. Yeah.
For sure. And yeah, you're 100% right. I mean, I think both you and I kicked up our blogs around the same time, 2013 timeframe, and that probably slowed down our affiliate marketing revenue, but we ended up with brands at the end of the day. You had an exit. I mean, it makes sense in so many ways with email list, podcast, just it's a platform that you could do the thing you want to do. So I can't agree more. Email lists, they're still very strong. I like email lists a lot.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, I only connected on Onfolio.co to Google Analytics for the first time a couple of weeks ago because I get my traffic from podcasts and from word of mouth. I don't optimize my blog posts for keywords, and I just hadn't been thinking about SEO for Onfolio. And with Human Proof Designs as well, in the beginning, yeah, we focused on SEO, but a lot of the keywords in that niche either don't get much traffic or they're highly competitive. So for us, it wasn't really an SEO play. So yeah, when you have that kind of business, you don't have to fear anything in terms of Google updates. And then if you look at, so like Authority Hacker, for example, I'm pretty sure a large amount of their traffic does come from the keywords they rank for. But if they suddenly lost all of those rankings, their revenue is going to stay good for a long time before like they feel that the pain there. So that's like, you can do that in almost any niche. And so that's like the longer term strategy.
right on. Well, any parting words, Dom? Any advice? Any more advice? You've given so much sage advice so far, but yeah, anything for maybe potential investors that are like, hey, I sense an opportunity, should they check out Onfolio, that sort of thing?
Well, yeah, I mean, absolutely, they should check out Onfolio. A lot of these thoughts I try to share on our blog posts. I don't blog that prolifically, probably once every 4 to 6 weeks, but I do have a blog post that I'm working on that goes deeper on this particular topic. But someone who senses an opportunity, yeah, I mean, I would just say if you can figure out a way to predictably buy an Amazon site and replace the links and have an uptick in the revenue, then go do that, because Amazon sites just became cheaper. But just don't assume it's going to happen, because as I talked about, there's going to be some niches where it doesn't work. So yeah, that's probably my parting words there.
Very good. Awesome, Dom. It was great to speak with you. Congrats on the new addition to the family, of course. And we got to talk more often, and we won't let 10 months go by next time.
Yeah, hopefully it won't be responding to another Amazon change next time as well.
Yeah, let's do a happier topic.
Cool.
All right, man. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thanks again to Dom. I appreciate him taking the time out. We're in vastly different time zones, so we always have to work that out, and I appreciate him taking the time out of his day. So do me a favor, check him out on Onfolio. Look at some of the recent blog posts. Dom is an excellent writer. He has some really good observations, and his network is vast, so he's pulling in information from a lot of different sources. Anyway, have a great day out there, and we'll catch you on the next episode.